Throughout history, governments around the world have operated in the shadows, conducting missions so secret that only a handful of people ever knew they existed. These covert operations were designed to change the course of history, whether through espionage, subterfuge, or cutting-edge technology, and were hidden from the public eye for decades. But secrets don't stay buried forever. As time passes, documents are declassified, whistleblowers speak out, and the truth emerges. Today, we're diving deep into the vaults of secrecy to uncover 5 remarkable military operations that have been declassified in recent years. These are missions that played pivotal roles in shaping geopolitics, science, and even the balance of global power. From daring underwater exploits to shocking plans that were too controversial to execute, these stories reveal the hidden side of history. You may have heard whispers about them, but the details will leave you amazed and sometimes unsettled. So, buckle up as we pull back the curtain on the unseen and the unknown. Here are 5 declassified military operations that you probably never knew about. After World War II, as the world struggled to recover from the devastation, a shadowy race for supremacy was already beginning, not on battlefields, but in laboratories and workshops. At the heart of this competition was Operation Paperclip, a secret U.S. mission designed to bring Nazi scientists to America. The operation sought to secure the minds behind Germany's advanced wartime technologies, from rocket engineering to chemical weapons. Among the most notable figures was Wernher von Braun, the mastermind of the V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile. His expertise would later prove instrumental in shaping NASA's Apollo program, which ultimately sent humans to the moon. Over 1,600 scientists, engineers, and technicians were quietly recruited and relocated to the United States. Officially, the goal was to prevent these individuals from falling into Soviet hands during the brewing Cold War. But this operation came at a moral cost. Many of these scientists were deeply tied to the Nazi regime, some even implicated in war crimes and human rights abuses during the Holocaust. For the US government, the opportunity to leap ahead in technological innovation outweighed the ethical dilemmas. The recruited scientists were instrumental in major developments, including advancements in missile technology, early space exploration, and even atomic research. Yet, the secrecy surrounding Operation Paperclip sparked outrage years later when the program was declassified. Critics questioned how far a nation should go in pursuit of progress, especially when it involves overlooking a dark and troubling past. Today, Operation Paperclip remains a controversial chapter in history, a reminder of the blurred lines between necessity and morality in the pursuit of power and progress. Imagine a world where your own government considers fabricating attacks on its citizens to justify a war. This isn't the plot of a dystopian novel, it's the shocking reality of a proposed U.S. military plan known as Operation Northwoods. Let's dive deep into one of the most controversial declassified documents in modern history. The year is 1962. The United States is in the middle of the Cold War, and tensions with communist Cuba are at an all-time high. Just 3 years earlier, Fidel Castro had come to power, aligning Cuba with the Soviet Union. The failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961 left the US embarrassed and desperate to undermine Castro's regime. The question was, how far were they willing to go? In March 1962, the Joint Chiefs of Staff presented a chilling proposal to Defense Secretary Robert McNamara. Codenamed Operation Northwoods, this plan aimed to create false flag events, manufactured incidents designed to deceive the public and justify military action against Cuba. These false flag scenarios ranged from sinking U.S. ships to staging terrorist attacks on American soil. The ultimate goal? To manipulate public opinion and gain support for an invasion of Cuba. The plan was laid out in detail in a now declassified document titled Justification for U.S. Military Intervention in Cuba. The proposals in Operation Northwoods were as elaborate as they were sinister. Some of the key ideas included: Remember the Maine. A rallying cry from the Spanish-American War was to be invoked again, this time fabricated to stir public outrage against Cuba. The plan suggested setting off bombs in American cities and framing Cuban agents for the destruction. These fake attacks were designed to make Cuba appear as a direct threat to U.S. citizens. One of the most shocking proposals involved simulating the hijacking of a civilian airliner. The military suggested using a drone aircraft painted to look like a real passenger jet, then claiming it was shot down by Cuban forces. The document also proposed faking a campaign of sabotage, complete with mock funerals for fake victims, to frame Cuba as a dangerous aggressor. So, why wasn't Operation Northwoods executed? The plan made its way up the chain of command but stopped at the desk of President John F. Kennedy. Shocked by the proposal, Kennedy rejected it outright. Many historians believe that this refusal contributed to the growing tensions between Kennedy and some members of the military and intelligence community. Shortly after, Kennedy fired General Lyman Lemnitzer, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and one of the architects of the plan. This decision marked a turning point in U.S. In the shadowy depths of the Cold War, espionage wasn't just fought on land or in the air. Beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean, a daring and covert mission unfolded that would push the limits of technology, courage, and secrecy. This is the story of Operation Ivy Bells, one of the most audacious and classified operations of its time. The year was 1971. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a tense geopolitical rivalry. Intelligence was the currency of the Cold War, and both nations were desperate to know the other's secrets. The Soviet Union had laid an undersea communication cable near the Kamchatka Peninsula, connecting its Pacific Fleet headquarters with strategic naval bases. This cable was believed to carry highly sensitive, unencrypted military communications. The United States saw an opportunity it couldn't resist. The U.S. Navy, in collaboration with the National Security Agency, NSA, and the CIA, launched Operation Ivy Bells. The mission's objective was both ambitious and dangerous: to locate the undersea cable, tap into it, and extract critical intelligence, all without the Soviet Union ever knowing. To accomplish this, the USS Halibut, a specially modified nuclear submarine, was dispatched to the icy waters of the Sea of Okhotsk. The USS Halibut was no ordinary submarine. It was equipped with state-of-the-art surveillance tools, including robotic arms, cameras, and a lockout chamber for divers to exit and re-enter the submarine while underwater. The team also carried a custom-built recording device that could attach to the cable and capture its communications without interrupting the signal. Navigating through hostile waters and avoiding Soviet patrols, the USS Halibut's crew located the cable deep on the ocean floor. Navy divers, trained in extreme underwater conditions, were sent out to attach the recording device to the cable. This device, designed to be undetectable, intercepted conversations and military directives that were crucial to understanding Soviet naval strategies. Success in ongoing operations. The mission was a resounding success. The intercepted communications provided the United States with unparalleled insights into Soviet naval movements, capabilities, and strategies. For years, the recording device was retrieved and replaced periodically by subsequent missions, yielding a treasure trove of intelligence. But the secrecy couldn't last forever. In 1980, a former NSA employee named Ronald Pelton sold details of Operation Ivy Bells to the Soviet Union for a mere $35,000. The revelation was a severe blow to the U.S. intelligence community. The Soviet Union, now aware of the cable tap, cut and secured their communication lines, effectively ending the operation. Operation Ivy Bells remains a testament to the ingenuity and audacity of Cold War espionage. It highlighted the critical role of undersea operations in modern warfare and underscored the lengths nations would go to outmaneuver their adversaries. Today, the mission serves as both an inspiration and a cautionary tale, illustrating the power of intelligence and the risks of betrayal. What do you think about this incredible undersea operation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more untold stories from history. Imagine a secret network operating in the shadows, prepared to wage a guerrilla war in case of an invasion, yet implicated in political unrest, assassinations, and even acts of terrorism. This is the story of Operation Gladio, NATO's covert Cold War operation that remained hidden for decades. During the Cold War, the fear of a Soviet invasion loomed large over Western Europe. To counter this threat, NATO initiated Operation Gladio, a clandestine program designed to establish stay-behind armies in various European countries. These groups were trained, armed, and prepared to act as resistance forces in the event of a Soviet occupation. However, while the official narrative painted Gladio as a defensive measure, its declassified details revealed a murkier reality. These secret armies were not only prepared to fight an invasion but were also linked to domestic political manipulation and violent activities. Operation Gladio was born in the aftermath of World War II when the Allies, particularly the United States and the United Kingdom, realized the necessity of preparing Europe for potential Soviet aggression. Working through NATO, they established secret networks in countries like Italy, France, Belgium, and Germany. These networks were equipped with arms caches, communication equipment, and trained operatives. The name Gladio comes from the Latin word for a short Roman sword, symbolizing its covert yet sharp nature. Collaborators, the operation involved close coordination with local governments, intelligence agencies like the CIA and MI6, and sometimes even far-right groups. How Gladio operated. The stay-behind armies were designed to function autonomously in case of a Soviet invasion. Their training included sabotage tactics, guerrilla warfare, intelligence gathering, assassination techniques. Weapons and resources were hidden in secret bunkers across Europe. Many operatives were ex-soldiers, and in some cases, far-right groups were recruited for their anti-communist stance. Operation Gladio remained unknown to the public until 1990, when Italian Prime Minister Giulio Andreotti confirmed its existence. This revelation shocked the world, as it exposed not just the operation but also its darker aspects. While initially framed as a defensive measure, Operation Gladio became embroiled in controversy. Accusations surfaced about its involvement in allegedly interfering in elections to ensure pro-Western governments. Acts of terrorism. Some claimed that Gladio operatives staged terrorist attacks and blamed them on left-wing groups to discredit communism. Example, the 1980 Bologna train station bombing in Italy, which killed 85 people, was initially attributed to leftist extremists but later linked to Gladio operatives. Assassinations. Allegations emerged of political assassinations targeting individuals deemed threats to NATO's objectives. These accusations painted a picture of an operation that, at times, acted more as a tool for domestic suppression than as a defense against foreign threats. As governments declassified more documents, the true scope of Gladio became clearer. It was not limited to Italy but had branches across Europe, including Switzerland, Greece, and Turkey. The US played a significant role, funneling funds and intelligence through the CIA to support these networks. Legacy and impact. Operation Gladio left a mixed legacy. Defensive strategy, it highlighted the lengths NATO was willing to go to counter Soviet influence. The revelations undermined trust in governments and NATO, as citizens questioned the ethical boundaries of such operations. Pop culture and conspiracy theories, Gladio became a symbol in conspiracy theories, with many claiming that similar operations still exist. Operation Gladio stands as a stark reminder of the hidden complexities of global politics during the Cold War. While its official purpose was to defend democracy, its methods and alleged actions blurred the lines between protection and manipulation. The declassification of Gladio's activities not only revealed a hidden chapter of history but also left us questioning the true cost of security in a world of shadows.